forthcoming album. Let's talk about that. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's something that's been going since my last album, Word Perfect. I think it's a big degree of kind of growing up as well. And kind of my voice has got that little bit deeper and stuff as well, and I've kind of calmed down on some issues, and I've just got angrier about other issues. So it's going to be quite funny balancing, you know, the two together, seeing the crowd response on what it is. I think kind of it's.
Are there any interesting collaborations?
Yes.
Is it top secret?
Some of them are, some of them aren't. I'm working with Canibus just now, the American rapper Canibus. If you don't know the guy who was battling with LL Cool J, I think Canibus has freestyle battled with everyone. And Canibus had checked the stuff that I was doing, and I've been a fan of Canibus' stuff for years as well. So we came together on a little 2012 kind of end of days exclusive kind of track. The two of he's like an underground militant guy in America, and I'm like an underground resistance fighter in the UK, and we're like sending secret messages in Morse code back and forward to each other. It's kind of a concept type tune, so that one should be good. And I've got Killa Priest from the Wu-Tang as well on it. And I'm
more name dropping.
Yeah, what can I say? Sorry about that. And I got Immortal Technique as well. I'm speaking to Immortal Technique because I've been a big fan of Immortal Technique from years back and stuff. So I've been speaking to him and speaking to his record label. So fingers crossed on that one. I'm trying to sort something out. And Dead Prez as well.
My favourite.
So yeah, I love Dead Prez. I love Dead Prez, and I speak to Stickman quite a bit as well. So hopefully I'll be able to work something out with Stickman.
Dead Prez got me into hip hop many
I've heard a lot of people say that, so yeah, so I'm thinking, yeah, two birds with a one stone. If I can get more people into my stuff through Dead Prez, then that's cool, because I mean, generally what their goals and my goals are the same. We share the same politics, we share the same views.
I was about to say, I can see a comparison that they're very politically conscious. All their lyrics, all their albums, particularly Let's Get Free.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned earlier the George Galloway thing. You got involved in politics quite a bit. I mean, what was the story behind that? Was it something to do with your arrests? You just fed up with the establishment, the system?
I don't know. It's probably about a catch-22 or something. I don't know what's the correct expression for that. My arrests got me more into it, but the reason I got arrested was because I was into it in the first place. Getting arrested under the Prevention of Terrorism was a complete joke, and I was released, you know, with no charge or anything, with no apology either. I was coming back from a show in Italy, and I got arrested at Prestwick Airport, at Stansted Airport at gunpoint. And you know, they asked me if I had any ID on them, and you know, and I had my passport on me. I was just off the plane. I was actually too busy laughing. I know how that sounds stupid, but at the same time, I was like, this is surreal. And you know, I was waiting for Jeremy Beadle to jump out dressed as a traffic warden with a fake beard on or something and say this was all a noise up. But
surely that didn't go down very well, laughing.
No, it
they
didn't.
take themselves very seriously, I'm sure.
I was kind of.
But you were arrested on another occasion, another separate occasion, or?
Yeah, and
I
would like to say that no, it doesn't really bother me. It's basically, see, at the end of the day, when you come out and you say things that people don't want you to say. People seem to think that we live in a place of free speech. We don't live in a place of free speech. People say, oh, but we've got freedom of speech. That's America that's got the freedom of speech, you know. And people will look back to things like the Magna Carta and stuff and think that that's going to pull you out. You know, the Magna Carta may as well be ripped up along with the Treaty of the Union and every other bit of legislation that we have to protect us, because our civil liberties are getting taken away day by day under the pretense and pretext of it's the anti-terror law this and anti-terror law that. They're using so many things under an anti-terror bill, which has got absolutely nothing to do with terrorism, but they're using it to force through what I believe an agenda on people anyway. So you know, it's quickly turning into a Georgeville 1984 kind of state, I believe anyway. And some people need to open their eyes a little bit more to see, you know, basically to see that, you know, for example, policemen stopping, you know, they're police constables, they're not officers, you know. An officer would need to be an officer of a financial institution, but then if you go online and you actually look at the United Kingdom trades as a PLC on the stock exchange. It's, you know, I mean, I could go on about this, you know, forever. Yeah. If you go to dropzonerecords.com and you and go in the news section and read up the Unlawful Rebellion as an article that was written by a guy down in England about the whole subject. You know, when you're born, you're given a number. That number is then floated on the stock exchange because your parent then signs your birth certificate, and your birth certificate is your parents passing over the ownership to the government from you. So your parents don't own you, and that's how the government can take you can take your kids off of you. It
does sound like something from a sci-fi movie.
It does indeed, yeah, but it's reality, unfortunately.
In the past 4 years I've been in Edinburgh, the number of hip-hop nights in
shouts to Old Boy
Edinburgh
Records indeed,
severely
definitely
dwindled, and I don't think there are very many in Glasgow, are there, or is it much better there?
No, there's not that many in Glasgow either, but I mean, I put that down to this repugnant bling culture that's just appeared. That, you know, the bling era is done, like Immortal Technique says, you know, the bling era is cute, but it's about to be done. You know, it should be finished, it should be over with by now. I mean, hip-hop's like, what, 30 odd years old, but people are still turning around and, you know, and thinking that hip-hop's about, you know, guns and, can I say, bitches and, you know, all that kind of carry. But it's not. I apologise to any listeners that are offended by it. I'm offended by that too. I am offended by that as well. But the thing is, it's that's not what hip-hop's about, and that's not the way that it should be portrayed or put across, but that's the way that the media put it across, and people, which comes down to why people think Scottish hip-hop can't, you know, because it's not that kind of culture. Hip-hop's about skills, you know, bringing your skills to the battle, whether you're a DJ or a graffiti artist or a rapper or a break dancer or you know, or even a street entrepreneurial kind of person. It's about bringing your skills to the battle. It's not about how big you're, you know, I got an earring that's as big as the Bash Rock or something. Do you know what I mean? It's like, who cares?
Well, we've got to round things off, but you mentioned who you don't like. You don't like the bling and all that lot. So to finish things off, who would you like to see, who do you think's in the forefront at the moment?
In Scotland or in world hip hop?
No, talented Scottish hip hop.
It's got to be Respect BA, Loki, Nitty Grits, you know, Gasp, myself. Scotland Yard. You know, see, to be honest with you, I feel like if I could have all day saying everyone's name, because there's so many great rappers out there, and I know that I've probably missed someone, you know, Project Mayhem, Spee, let me keep talking, let me keep thinking, and coming in my head when you put on the spot. There's a lot better artists than there are bad artists, let's say that, and they all need to be checked. So if you just go into Google, use it, you know, go into Google, type in Scottish hip hop. There might be artists there that you don't like, you know, go and check out Prophecy, go and check out Reach Out, go and, you know, plenty of people out there. Type in Eastborn, now remember that, type in Eastborn.
That's a fabulously positive note to end on, that there is lots of Scottish talented hip hop artists out there, and you've been on one of them so far, and I hope that everything goes well for you in the future.
Thanks very much, I appreciate coming on, thanks very much.
Gigs. One artist you did miss out is The Blessings on the Lucky Me Collective.
I like Lucky Me.
And they've got a big night tonight at Electric Circuits. So this is their track, Where is Anna?